Hi, I'm Dr. Lori Watson and the co-host of Foreplay.
I'm your co-host, George Fowler, former firefighter, your couples therapist who loves to talk about sex.
Woo! Let's discuss everything about the best sexual techniques to building your emotional intimacy, which is really necessary for great sex.
We bring sound, concrete tools to reframe your relationship problems and learn how to fall in love again and feel desire.
Listen to Foreplay Radio on the iHeart app, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to Marriage Therapy Radio. I'm Zach. I'm here with Laura. Laura's still broken. Apparently she can't get her microphone to work, so you're going to have to bear with us. Today, we're taking a listener question. It's a question that I like a lot because it leads to two of my favorite kind of takeaways from the universe of relationship health. And one is just be nice. There's no reason not to be kind to one another. And so let's just agree that that's something that we're going to do. And the second one is that it's the job of the couple to protect the relationship from external stress. And whenever we turn our partner into the stressor, that becomes a challenge. So I like finding ways to be creative about protecting the relationship from external stress. As always, it's a cool conversation. Stick around. How are you feeling? You said you got a new x-ray?
I did. I went in for my 2-week checkup. So catch this. I have a girlfriend who has been pretty serious about trying to get me in to go to surgery. A lot of people had like a lot of opinions about going in and getting...
Like me.
Yeah.
I haven't been trying to get you to do it. I just said you definitely should.
You definitely should. Right. So people have a lot of opinions. And I will tell you that I went in for my 2-week visit. And I also had them take some pictures of my ribs because those are in more pain. And he came back and he started touching on my collarbone. He goes, "How's that feel?" And I'm like, "Is it supposed to hurt somewhere in there?" And then he starts moving. He rotated my arm above my head and then he pulled it out, like checking kind of like my, I don't know what that is, like rotator cuff or my, I don't know. And he looked at me and he said, "I can't believe you're not in pain right now. When did you stop taking pain pills?" And I said, "Well, for one, you didn't prescribe. So thanks for that. But 2, day 3, I stopped taking anything and I've been sleeping great." And he said, "I don't know if I've ever seen anybody this jolly 2 weeks after an accident. You are healing really, really, either you're healing really well or you have a very high pain tolerance."
Right on.
Both are probably true, but I am a superwoman. And if you think I have high self-esteem about the outside of my body, I now have high self-esteem about the inside of my bones.
Remember that time that you broke both your hands doing push-ups?
Hey, to be fair, I wasn't doing push-ups. I broke both. Have we not told this story?
I don't remember.
Let's just talk about all the ways that I have been super klutzy doing outdoor activities. I broke both of my wrists falling off of the monkey
I don't think I've
bars.
ever heard you say the word both before.
Yeah.
You say both.
Both with an L, BOLTH, both.
No, it's like both.
Both of my wrists.
It's like both.
Both.
It's like boat, but with a TH. But you say both.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, you are.
Hold on. You're saying it's both.
Both, like boat.
And you're right. I say it as if it's spelled with an L, both.
Both. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's not talk about your wrists. I don't want to do that. I want to tell you how sad I am.
Okay, go on.
I think after Labor Day, I got overwhelmed by the future. I feel like I was like all in the present and whatever. And I like next was like my fantasy football draft, which I had with our mutual friend yesterday.
Yeah.
And
well, then can I ask you, is football happening?
Yeah, football's happening.
Are they allowing people to come to the stadiums? They're
Nope.
Okay. It's happening. Is it just like family that's allowed to come and watch?
I don't think so. I just think it's like if you watch golf or tennis or basketball right now, it's like iPads. It's like iPad faces watching the thing. But can we go back to the part where I'm sad?
Yeah. Okay. Go on, please. I'm so sorry. I'm here with you. Go tell me about your pain.
No, I just like last night, I finished my fantasy football draft and our mutual friend made me very angry because he stole my quarterback. And, but
because he is smarter than you. Go on.
You
don't think? I think he is.
I think he's smarter than me, but not about fantasy football.
Okay.
He just had, it doesn't matter. All right. Anyway, So I crossed the finish line of all the things that I had on my calendar. And then I was like,
You tapped out by
Oh.
September 3rd.
it's September 8th.
Oh, gosh.
Right? By the way, September 8th, 2020. And for the first time today, I read these words, the Zoom where it happened.
Wait, say it again. The Zoom where it happened?
Yeah, like from Hamilton, like I want to be in the room where it happened, the room where it happened. But I read the Zoom where it happened. First time, 6 months.
That's
How did it take
clever.
us 6 months to get to the Zoom where it happened? All right.
I don't know.
I'm just sad because the future.
Mm-hmm. Because of the future, man. You don't have anything else to look forward to. There's nothing else on your horizon.
Remember how I was supposed to go to France in April?
Yeah.
So now that trip is scheduled for October of 2021.
Uh-huh. You're going to get that dad bod in such good France shape so you can go topless on the beach.
That's like the next thing in my life.
Yeah.
Maybe going to France in the future.
I'm
sad about that.
Well, I think there needs to be a trip to Bend, Oregon. And
nah,
come
nothing for
on
me
now.
in Bend.
There is a one-armed woman that will drink many beers with you, and we can sit and you can sing Hamilton to me.
Yeah. Did you watch it?
I haven't watched it yet. I need to sit down with my son and watch it, and my husband.
Not your son, your husband.
I was telling you today how I really blew it as a wife, like really blew it. I criticized my husband, and this was his response. So I said some mean things to him in the kitchen this afternoon, and he just sat there and he looked at me and he said, I'm going to go back into my office, and when you have nice things to say to me, you can come talk to me. That was it. And then he walked out. There was no raising of it. Just like, it was the moment where I was like, ooh, kind of like when your parent says, like, I'm really disappointed in you. Like, I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed. That's the feeling that I had when he walked out. Like, he took the high road. I felt disappointed in myself. And I will tell everybody out there that if you want to win at an argument, you just say, when you have something nice to say, I'll be here for you. And then you just exit. That's solid.
I'm 100% on the just be kind train. Like, there's just no reason not to. I don't think I told you this. I don't think I taught you, but last week I think it was Friday. 2 things happened to me that were job related that like threw me off. I think that's probably why I'm still sad, but I'm going to tell you about one of them.
Okay. Me and our 6 listeners, go on.
It goes back to the kindness thing, which is I had this couple want to talk to me about whether or not we would be a good fit. And so I said, no problem. Text me at, this time. And when I get the text, I'll call you back. I don't get a text at that time. Not sure why. But I get an email about 11 minutes after the time that is like, where are you? You told us that you wanted me to be here right now. And I was like, oh, sorry. I mean, call me now. I'm ready. I wasn't exactly ready because I was just sitting here at my computer, but I put on my headphones and I closed my computer. They called me or whatever. Conversation must have been like 45 seconds because I said, how can I be of help? And then they were telling me how they can be of help or how I could be of help. And then I said, I always say that, right? That's exactly what I say every single time. The first time I say, how can I be of help? She tells me how she could be of help, or she tells me what's going on. And she said, I want to know if we could be a good fit. And I was like, great. How can I help you discern that? The dude got mad at me. And then he was like, no, forget it. Forget it. He's late. He didn't apologize. And then he just hung up on me.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, bye. And then I went home. And when I got home, I got this email from this guy who was mad at me because I don't know. But anyway, it was mean. And then I was just like, I don't like it when people are mean to me. Like for 24 hours, like 24 hours, maybe 48. I was just like, and I said it to Rebecca maybe half a dozen times. I was like, man, I just do not like it when people are mean to me. So here's my point. Ryan, badass. Right? Because there's no reason ever to be mean. You just, it's like, why? Why would you be mean? It doesn't. Yeah. Anyway.
Wait, okay, hold on. This is a really good segue, though, because what you're segueing into is something that we got a listener email that was sent to us. I'm going to try and be vague. I don't know if I can be vague with the specifics of this email.
This is priceless, and you should not be vague.
Okay. All right, I'm going to
When you
sum it up.
email us, if you don't write the words, do not talk about this on the podcast.
We're going to talk about it.
Sorry.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I wanted to tell you one more thing.
Okay.
I have a dream guest that I have decided to stalk.
Okay. Let's put it out there in the universe.
I will be updating you every week. I will be updating you every week. But podcast universe, send your energy into my stalking world.
100%. I have no idea who this person is because you say words and I'm like, I don't care. And you're like, come on now. This is a really famous artist that is in Germany and is
totally.
Yeah.
It is a famous person. And I found their Google voicemail. I'm going to be calling it several times a week.
Who is the famous person? We're all on the edges of our seats.
It's a secret. But I just wanted to put that out into the world.
It's Kristen Bell, isn't it?
No.
It's Jake Gyllenhaal. Nobody has replied. By the way, since we have new Vanity Fair listeners, we dropped how many videos do we have now on Vanity Fair? 5, 6?
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of 6. 4 of 6.
So we just dropped. We did Ross and Rachel from Friends a couple weeks ago, and then recently we just did the what?
I just want to see if you remember what we did.
It's Insecure is the show, and isn't it an HBO show?
Yeah, Issa and Lawrence.
Yeah, Issa and Lawrence. That's right. Anyway,
and I'm going to say something nice.
Okay.
You crushed it. You were the star of the Insecure video.
I have yet to watch it, but I already know that these are true words that you're saying.
Hey, listen, I'm going to say it again. Are you ready? You're the star of the Insecure video.
I can actually laugh without being in pain, so I will laugh at you making fun of me.
Hey, gang, I wanted to let you know that the Marriage Therapy Journal Book Club is officially open for registration. It's the middle of September right now. And between now and the end of the month, you can go to marriagetherapyjournal.com and it'll take you to the registration page. It is so cool. I got to spend time with the developers last week. There's an app. There's a lot of extra content. There's some Q&A with me. And the price is incredible. And I hope that you'll go over and take a look because we'd love to have you join us. The book club runs for 4 weeks through the month of October. And it's packed full of awesome content that is going to be of help to you and to your relationship. So thanks for checking it out.
So speaking of making fun of me.
Okay, yes, go.
Let's get back to our listener question.
Reader question.
So our listener sends an email in and she says, hey, I got my feelings hurt by my partner. And she knows her partner loves her. This wasn't really in the midst of a fight. It's just that her partner said a comment and she can't get over it. She just can't get it out of her head. And it's actually like really, it hurts her. It hurt her. I think I suspect, I'm going to draw this out because I want all of you to imagine what this comment could have been. Like as a woman, what is a comment that your loved one could say to you that you would hold on to and you wouldn't necessarily be mad, but instead you would be hurt? So here's what he said. He said she is a Kansas 8. Now, for those of you who are like looking at your partner, looking around because you're like, what does that mean, a Kansas 8? Zach, can you inform the audience what a Kansas 8 is? Or like a Miami 9?
Her problem is that when he called her a Kansas 8, that implies that if she were anywhere other than Kansas, she would probably be lower. She might be like a North Dakota 10. North Dakota 10, sure.
She could be like a New York 4.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
Regardless, he gave her a label and she didn't like it.
Mm-hmm. So.
But it's pretty funny.
I mean, I hate to laugh, listener, but you know that we like the potential is there that we're going to get a good giggle.
Listen, if she's listening right now, here's what I would say to her because I love her and I'm being serious. Like you gotta not take yourself so seriously. As human beings, we need to take ourselves less seriously. Like that is just a thing that is the beginning of you letting go of this, which is it doesn't matter what my partner says about me. It matters that I know that I'm badass and that I bring so much good to the table that I get to be okay with that. And your feelings are hurt, but sweet lady, don't take it so seriously.
I'm okay. I'm going to just go ahead and say, don't listen to anything that Zach just said, because I think that the reason why it hit so hard for her, and she said this, is it's been a tough COVID. Like, I might have put some weight on. I might have been a little fluffy. I've told Zach this. I don't know if I've told you guys this. Like, I have made fun of Zach in the past of looking like he ate his previous self. Oh, it hurts now to laugh. It now looks like Laura ate her previous self because I have become an amazing bread maker, and all that bread goes in my mouth. Yeah. So
no, okay, fine. Let me rephrase it this way.
Okay.
If he calls you a Kansas 8, you tell him, no, I'm more like a 6.
Okay.
You don't give him power to make you feel bad. That is not a thing that should happen.
I think the reason why this is hurting her so bad is that there is some element of truth that she identifies with, and she can say, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Like I have quote unquote let myself go, whatever that means. Like, I haven't been, like maintaining my highlights the way I used to, because I'm not going to go in and get my hair highlighted. And I haven't had my eyebrows waxed in 6 months, and my toenails are extra long right now. I don't know what it is, but I think that when we get hurt and we get defensive, it's because there is some element of truth in what that person said. So when she hears her husband call her a Kansas 8, she goes, damn, I thought I was the only one that noticed, but now you notice. And so it hurts extra bad. So, I mean, she says, how do I get over this?
Right on. So the other thing, of course, is that while it may be funny, it's unkind, or at least she experienced it as unkind. And I'm pro kindness. So that is a thing that we need to maybe, speak to a little bit, because I think she can do both, right? I think she can say, you know what, let's say his name is,
it's Mark. Chad.
It's Chad.
Okay. Yeah.
He's a Chad?
Yeah.
Nobody's name is Chad.
Sure it is. Chad says stuff like, baby, you're a Kansas 8.
Right on. Okay. So Chad, she can say both things. She can say, Chad, you know what? You might be right. Like, this has been a hard season, and I thank you for calling me a Kansas 8. I actually feel like a 6, but the fact that you noticed is noticeable to me. Second of all, like, it's just not kind. And I keep thinking about it, and I need you to help me understand that you're not an unkind person. Like, that there's no reason for me to wander around my house, my world, thinking that you're not capable of being kind to me. And so there's two things, right? I mean, there's two parts of it, which is you get to have your feelings hurt, and you get to stand up for yourself. Like, so
it's funny because I think, like with the question of like, what do I do with this hurt? I think what you're saying is it's still relational. Like, there needs to be some element of going back to your partner and saying, hey, like, that was unkind, and I don't want to have a relationship with one another where we're kind of hurting each other. But I think the work actually needs to be done interpersonally. I think the work needs to be done inside of herself, because my guess is that she can't let this go because there is pain that she's experiencing in her feelings towards herself. And it's not necessarily directed at her partner. I think she's saying, I'm in pain. I don't think it's I'm in pain in this relationship with you because you said that to me. I think it's I'm in pain because this, like, I'm in a place right now where I don't feel very good about myself. And like, what do I do with that personal pain?
Well, I think it's both. Like, it's not either or, it's both and, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's where I say, I mean, again, as the father of 2 young girls and as the husband of a woman, I am the husband of a woman.
Yes, you are, not a girl.
No, but I feel really strongly about girls, like, being empowered to, like, own whoever they are. And I think, again, like, don't let him call you a Kansas 8 without calling yourself a North Dakota 10, and saying, let's move, and let him know that you deserve to be his partner, his equal, his his peer, not the object of his judgment, because I think that's the part where he gets into trouble. And again, if I'm talking to him, I'm like, dude, great joke. That's pretty funny. Also, like, you gotta, what is it? 5 to 1? Like you just took 5 out. You got to put 5 back in.
We have never mentioned this on the podcast. So what Zach is referring to is research that's been done by Dr. John Gottman. And what he found is that in just like really healthy relationships, there is going to be conflict. And there's going to be times where you're going to call your partner a Kansas 8 and it's going to hurt. But it needs to be balanced. Even in the midst of conflict, there is still a balance of 5 positive things that you are doing. It's like smiling at your partner, touching your partner, saying a kind word, or accepting influence, whatever it might be, 5 times.
Yeah, so the insult is
negative.
a nickel. The insult is a nickel. The smile is a penny. And so you got to put, if you're going to take a nickel out, you got to put 5 pennies in. And in reality, you ought to just be putting pennies in all the time. Like, put in 1,000,000 pennies so that when you take a nickel out, it doesn't crush your partner. She meets you, or he meets you, face to face and says, I don't really care. Like, it's kind of like what happened with you and Ryan. Like maybe you took out a nickel, but he didn't. I don't think
I told this story. Oh, I did.
You suggested it. I mean,
That's
but
right.
You took out a nickel and he didn't go into bankruptcy or deficit.
Right.
Because you guys have $100 in the bank.
Totally.
He just said, hey, if you want to be nice, come talk to me. If you don't, that's fine. But he's not going to spend the next 2 weeks wondering whether or not you love him.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing that it makes me question is, let's say your emotional bank account is chock full. You have a great relationship. However, I think what I'm insinuating here is that their emotional bank account, I'm going to tell myself the story is full. It's overflowing. And her partner says, Chad and Karen. I'm going to call her Karen.
Karen? Nobody's name is Karen.
No one. Okay.
I have a Karen in my practice, and she is so sad that her name is Karen. She's like,
I know.
She's like, this too shall pass. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard being actually named Karen right now.
So I'm going to say that Chad and Karen have an emotional bank account that is chock full.
Karen.
But I think that Karen's personal bank account is empty. And so when he said this, it didn't necessarily create a massive withdrawal from their emotional bank account. I think it really hit her personally. That's what I think is going on. Here's another story I want to go down, which is this idea. You said play with it a little bit. I don't like this.
Hold on one second. I'm thinking about this. Like,
okay.
I think you're working a little bit too hard here, because she's hurt. Okay, is what you're saying, you think she's hurt because he said something and she thinks it might be true?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying that I don't think that she's
I can run with
feeling.
That. Okay.
You can run with that?
Yeah.
They have a shared emotional bank account that's full. So he says something critical, and I don't think it necessarily takes away from the relationship, but he says something critical and she goes, oh, that stung a little bit, because I think she sees truth in it, and her own personal account is empty. And so it really, you feel me? You coming? You want my
I feel you
yet?
In this way, which is kind of like, I can say I'm big, but you can't say I'm big.
Mm-hmm. We can talk about the fact that I'm balding, or I can talk about the fact that I'm balding,
but you can't talk about it.
Yes.
Got it.
That was, I will tell you, just from a personal standpoint, one of the things that I loved most about my husband when I met him is that he never, ever mentioned my acne, ever. And I have lived with acne through elementary, middle, high school, college, like adult years. He's never said anything. And I will tell you that there are times where I'll see my parents and the first thing out of their mouth is like, oh, what's going on over here? And I'm like, it's the freaking acne that I've had for the last 36 years. Meanwhile, my husband doesn't say a thing. And it's not that he doesn't see it. It's that he chooses not to point out the thing that is most sensitive to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Remember this joke from Friends, though, where I forget exactly what set of characters it was, but it was like maybe Chandler. But he said, so she asked me if my butt looked big in these jeans. And then the next thing he goes, so I thought about it for a second, and everybody goes, no.
No, you can't think about it. It is just an immediate nope.
Nope was the answer. Does my butt look big in these jeans? Nope.
Nope. 100%. There's only one answer to that. Doesn't matter who's asking it or what their butt looks like. There's only one response. Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay. I have so many other thoughts.
Okay, cool. But did we help this lady? Did we answer her question?
So here's what I'm circling back on. If my theory is true, and my theory is that it hurt because it hurt her, wounded her, it touched on her vulnerability, and there's some aspect of what he said that is true, and she's having a hard time with it. My question is this something that she internally processes for herself because this is a sort of like a personal wound, or is this something that she needs to go and process with her partner?
Why is it or? It's both.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. What he did was criticize her. That is a thing that he did.
That's true.
And criticism, as we know, is one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The reason, which is toxic to a relationship, right? The reason people criticize is because they want something to be different. I would like something to be different.
Yeah.
I would like you to be healthier. I would like you to be happier. I would like you to be an example for our kids, whatever it is.
Yeah.
When couples are committed to protecting the relationship from the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, it is the responsibility of the criticizer to learn how to ask for the thing that he wants. Right? Hey, babe, I'd really like you to take better care of yourself. Like, could we start working out? Could we do that together? Like, that's the same expression, but in a much kinder way.
Sure.
But here's the other thing. When the couple is protecting the relationship from the 4 horsemen, she also gets to say, hey, babe, I've been thinking about this. It stung.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you're trying to ask me for something. I'm wondering if you're trying to ask me a question, or if you need
a request.
Because if you want me to lose weight or be a North Dakota 10 or a Miami 2 or whatever it is, like, would you please ask me for what you want? Because what you did has taken me to another place, and that place isn't good for our relationship. So that's when the couple can protect the relationship from the 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
They learn how to help each other remove criticism.
I think we talk about how conflict can actually bring people closer together, and how I imagine that conversation of coming back to her partner. And Karen says to Chad, hey, I'm thinking about this. This really stung. It really hurt me. I've very much so internalized your words. And I think it's because there's an element of truth in that. And I also feel like I have put on some weight. I'm not feeling as sexy. I'm not fitting into my clothes, whatever it might be. All these things are true for Laura Heck these days. So I'm speaking from a place of wisdom as a Bend, Oregon 6 these days. But I think it can bring couples closer together when you have that conversation, when you are not defending yourself, but instead you're reaching in and you're being very vulnerable, and you're saying, this is what you said. And the reason why it was so impactful is because it stung because of the words that I'm telling myself that you're not privy to. Like, you're not aware of what I say to myself when I am naked in front of a mirror. You're not aware of what I say to myself when I go back for seconds, or when I'm, like snacking in the pantry, telling myself I should have some broccoli or some carrots instead. And so when you say that, it just confirms something that is already a pain for me. And that vulnerability can actually make those couples come together. It could make Chad and Karen feel closer, which is why we love conflict, in a way of just making people feel closer together. But not all conflict goes that way, which is why we're here.
Yeah, right on. So to sum up, I think 100% like kindness, right? Kindness is just like the rule.
Yeah.
Number 2 is that rule applies internally, like be kind to yourself.
Yes.
And then be kind to the other. And the other one is, remember that sum up 5 to 1, right? If you're gonna draw a nickel out, make sure that you're throwing pennies in all the time.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a fountain. Like, think about a fountain where there's just like tons and tons and tons of pennies in a fountain. But then like maybe there's a nickel and somebody takes a nickel of it. Who cares? Because there's so many pennies in there. So do that. And then the third thing is, I do think there's something magical about couples who decide together that we are protecting our relationship from the four horsemen. And I can help the criticizer has a job, which is to learn how to ask for what he wants. And the criticized has a job, which is to learn how to say, are you trying to ask me for something?
I like that.
And then fourth thing is all the energy into the universe to get me my dream guest who I'm going to be stalking beginning this afternoon at 5:00.
Hold on. So you haven't told us who that person is yet? You're not going to?
No, I'm not going to.
Come on.
What if I don't get them?
It doesn't matter. Put it into the universe. Maybe somebody knows on the podcast who this person is.
No, I'm going to get them because of energy and stalking, not because of networking.
Okay, well, I'm going to put it out there that I'm still looking for Jake Gyllenhaal to call me.
Yeah.
But I need to see his face. So if I would like a FaceTime from Jake Gyllenhaal with an hour and a half lead time so that I can put some red lipstick on and cover up my acne. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
All right. Boy, I was really vulnerable today. Let's land this plane.
You got it.
Okay. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. If you are looking for a little bit of guidance in your relationship, or maybe you're just struggling with some internal thoughts or behaviors that have got you down, a great place to find a resource of a licensed therapist in your area that you can meet with virtually is to go to BetterHelp.com. We've partnered with BetterHelp to be able to provide our listeners with quality and qualified therapists in your area. And if you go to BetterHelp.com/MTR, you get 10% off of your first month, which also goes to help provide Zach and I to be able to just keep the podcast going. So go to BetterHelp, BETTER, help, HELP.com/MTR to find a therapist in your area. Thanks for all of your time and attention, making your relationship better today than it was yesterday.